women better than men at?
A lot of things.
Like what?
Like what? What are women better than men at?
Hi everyone, welcome back to Daily Freddo. Today I wanted to react to, in my opinion, a video with a very interesting dynamic in it. Just Pearly Things, who's known for her controversial opinions about women, men, relationships, women's rights and so on, is interviewing feminists on the streets of Notting Hill Carnival in London.
London, baby!
If you have been watching my videos for a while, you know that I don't agree with Pearl on a lot of things and a lot of her statements, but I still respect her as a creator and at times align with some of her views. So I was curious about this one. Will I agree with Pearl, or as she puts it, delusional feminists this time? But before we start, if you haven't already, please take a second to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications. It really makes a huge difference and helps my content reach more people. All right, let's roll the video.
I want to know, what is standing in our way?
Like people with mindsets like you that women are too emotional, women can't do the same jobs as men, and saying like women should be able to.
What is stopping you from going and starting a business?
What's stopping me right now?
Yeah.
Like me personally,
What's stopping you?
the fact that I'm 19 and broke.
Okay, but what would be different than a man that's 19 and broke?
Probably that he has more opportunity, just because he's a man. What kind of dumb question is that? That is a stupid question.
I think you're trying to make women into men and we're not men.
No, we're not men, we're better than men. I just told you that women have been stopped by the glass ceiling to be able to get to that stage. Because I'm sure there's women smart enough, have enough money to get to that point. But men take credit for work that isn't theirs. Like,
Again, what's stopping us?
men!
Okay, it's going to be interesting. What's stopping you? Men. Why are men stopping you? Because they are men. But how are men different from you? Because they are men. Is it me, or should a person back up their statements with some sort of arguments? You can have your beliefs, you're entitled to them, but you have to have something to support your point. Otherwise, you are just a madman screaming at people, random stuff.
What do women bring to the table?
The independency. They don't have to rely on no man. They cook, they work, they have their own house, and it's the men that always want to move in with the women.
Do men typically want independent women?
No,
So then why do we bring that up if they don't care about it?
because we can't always rely on a man.
Why?
Because men are cheats.
Men are what?
Men are cheats.
Yes, women in our times are much more independent, which depending on the situation can be a bad thing or a good thing. You should always strive to do what works best for your family and for you personally. The question, what do women bring to the table, would be much simpler years ago when the household roles were divided. Today we have mom and dad that are both working, and in ideal circumstances they share the housework. They are both involved, even if not equally, in raising kids. So there is this teamwork in the family that we are now trying to achieve. I do believe that in our society today, the wife is screwed if her husband has outdated idea of the family dynamic, because then she doesn't only have to work, but also do all the heavy lifting at home.
In the 1900s, they realized women are easily influenced by propaganda, right? So what do? They show us some sad story and we run to the polls. And that's a problem. And I just think women are too emotionally led. We don't do the hard jobs in society. Men do 95% of all the jobs that make everything run, and we lose money on taxes. So we spend the most money, we make less. Why do you deserve an equal say when you don't do equal work?
So again, Pearl saying that women shouldn't vote. This is also on her t-shirt. So this Pearl statement is controversial, but she knows how to push buttons. You can see reactions of the women there. They're laughing, they're shaking their heads. They respond emotionally, actually proving a little bit her point that she's making.
Like
So
that's
I'm a
like
single mother,
Right.
and I work full time.
And
my mom
right, but see, this is the problem. See how you're reacting?
I don't follow any news stories at all, any propaganda, nothing.
Okay.
I form my own decision.
It's funny. You're proving my point because you're reacting emotionally by bringing it to yourself, because I'm not talking about you.
I'm reacting emotionally because it's an emotive subject.
it's evidence to say that we are working, like, as women, as women, I know that my mother, right, is working harder than any man that we know in our lives.
Okay, so then
I'm not getting emotional about it. I'm providing evidence to say I don't agree with
the reason I'm saying, because you're bringing up anecdotal experience when we're talking about as a group. there's no dispute that women are a net loss on the tax base.
So you think that all the women that have done amazing things in history are too emotional because women are...
Who? Where's the female Elon Musk? Where's the female...
Elon Musk is a wanker.
Difficult.
Where's the female Bill Gates? If women could do these...
That's what you're saying is not fair because women don't have access to some of the same stuff men do because of the patriarchy. That is...
I wish when women take part in those interviews, they would not get offended, but just discuss things, feelings aside. Anyway, I checked it, and yes, in UK, in the last tax year, men paid £92 billion in income tax, whereas women paid £36.8 billion, which is 60% less. Of course, there are many contributing factors, but if you are a so-called feminist, you should know about it and seek answers. A lot of women today recite the same slogans like glass ceiling, patriarchy, not even knowing really what it means and how it applies in our society today. We live in modern times, remembering and using arguments from the old times.
I believe that men should only marry virgins then.
No.
Really?
That's not biblical.
It's not biblical to wait till marriage?
No, it is. But you don't... Just because I've sinned doesn't mean that you shouldn't love me because of that. Jesus loved us.
Well, I think men should only marry virgin. And I'll tell you why. Because when a woman sleeps around, she's got like a 20% chance of a happy marriage. If she's a virgin, it's an 80% chance. And it affects women a lot more than men. So I just tell the man, just marry virgin. I thought the Christian guy would agree with all the girls start as virgin.
I'll tell you something. Before I gave my life to Christ, I had sex with many women. So is that...
It doesn't count, you're a guy.
How?
It counts less.
It counts less in what way?
It counts less because it affects men less than women.
So I checked it. You can see in this graph that it is not a 20% versus 80% situation, and also men are affected by the number of partners as well. Maybe not as much as women, but you can clearly see here that they are affected. The way Pearl puts it, it's almost as shaming women for having sexual history, which I don't like. But I do agree with the general message she's communicating. We, and I mean men and women, should be much more selective in who we decide to be intimate with, share our body in that way with. Unfortunately, in our times, women especially are encouraged to sleep around, to be on OnlyFans, to wear revealing clothing, to hate men, but to be like them as well. It's a mess.
We would agree there's a difference between a male whore and a female whore.
Of course.
And you'd agree a woman whore is way worse.
I mean, in society, yes. I agree.
So, and you'd agree that a woman brings more baggage than a male whore. A female whore brings way more baggage than a male whore.
No.
You disagree?
No. Yeah.
Do you think it's equal?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So it's interesting because a lot of Christian guys go back to this egalitarian model, and I don't really get it. Like, do you believe like women should obey husbands?
Well, yes, only if the man is obeying Jesus.
You said it, man. Nobody with the Jesus.
I'm not a Bible expert, by no means, but I remember a priest explaining this to us at school. A woman should obey her husband, which means husband should lead his family, should be able to provide, should be wise. So the woman has nothing to worry about in life, something like that. I mean, I assume if you have a smart, good man next to you, you will be happy for him to take the lead. All you hear on social media are complaints that a woman has to do it all.
I think you're trying to make women into men and we're not men.
No, we're not men. We're better than men.
But see that's misandry right there. It's funny because if men said that about women, there would be a lot of backlash. But you can openly say that about men in this mean patriarchy.
Yeah, because I can say that about men because men at the moment, men are at the top. So
what are women better than men at?
a lot of things.
Like what?
Like what? What are women better than men at? Huh?
There's the female Elon Musk and Bill Gates if we're better at
I just told you that women have been stopped by the glass ceiling to be able to get to that stage. Because I'm sure there's women smart enough, have enough money to get to that point. But men take credit for work that isn't theirs. Like
Really? She couldn't come up with one thing? If you yell women are better than men, at least have one thing in your mind that proves that. I would say women are better in multitasking, organizational skills. They are much better in caring for kids. Women commit less crimes. I'm naming those things, and at the same time, I know that there are many things men are better at than women. So chill out, guys, okay? My point here is that both women and men are equally important because they have strengths in different areas.
I think that women have an easier time getting hired for jobs. What do you, am I wrong? Am I right?
Right, so I work in technology recruitment, right? So which is where, you know, we're screaming to have more females and to bring that balanced at least 50-50 or 60-40 male-female, right? So I had this job, advertised it, got like 30 applicants. Like I generally put out of those forward 10. I wasn't forced, but because of us trying to hit numbers, I had to put all the women through and all the men didn't even get a look.
No, and I appreciate you being honest about that.
No, I've actually been wanting to come out and say this because I see feminists saying, oh, pay gap, but you know, there's no better time to be looking for a job if you're a woman, if you're like ethnic minority, like this is the best time.
Gotta hit that diversity points, right? That's why even Disney replaces male characters with females, swaps races, makes sure Seven Dwarfs represent everyone and everything. Good times.
Kim Kardashian, is she as smart as Elon Musk? That's the female billionaire.
You don't know.
A woman that sold a sex tape.
Okay, just because she sold her body or whatever, that doesn't mean she's smart or dumb. Realistically, that sex tape got her famous.
Do we respect
money moves there?
We respect people that take the easy way or the hard way?
So you think selling your body is the easy way?
Yeah, I would say it's harder than doing.
You think it's the easy way?
Selling your body is
a lot of sex workers have been pushed into being a sex worker because of biases.
The offense. How dare you criticize someone for selling their body? And if they sold their body and it brought them millions of dollars, that's a great business move, not prostitution. Anyway, Kim K is old news. She made that calculated mistake and women today look up to her. Let's move on.
So I have a question. Does body count matter?
No.
So what's your body count?
I don't know, I don't count.
What do you think the average body count is for a 35-year-old woman?
I don't know what the average is. Should I say my average? I don't know.
I mean, you have to say yours. 30. So 30 by 35?
No. Just 30.
30, okay.
Okay. I mean, to each his own. 30 by 30, ladies.
Why are we voting?
Women should babies. Depends. What? Depends on what you mean by that.
I don't think we should be able to vote. I think they should take it away. I'll give you an example. So, see, it's like an hour conversation, but I'll explain it to you. In the 1900s, women we operate with our emotions first, right? There's a reason why every fashion trend, like women jump onto, like they convince us to get holes in our shirts, puffy sleeves. It doesn't matter. And what they realized in the 1900s was they could influence the population by showing women a sad story, and we run to the polls.
Yeah.
I just think
led to by emotion.
and I think men pay the majority of the taxes. They do all the hard jobs. So
because currently men, you can agree, men have the most power right now. Do you agree?
no, I think women have more power than men.
The world right now are made for women. In this generation now, you would agree.
So I used to, in this generation. So I'll give you, okay. So
men have the most power.
So I'm going to tell you why I disagree with that. I used to think like you, so I understand why you think that way. Right now, women, we pay the minority of the taxes. So men are paying for everything. And then on top of that, we're not doing any of the hard jobs. So men pave the road. And then, well, we're not housewives, but we don't have the, so, and then on top of that, men are discriminated against in family court. So they have no access to their kids right now, and I think and they also, it's really easy to falsely accuse men of Come on. So because guys, so if you go into a college campus, there's courses that say if two people are drunk and have sex, the woman couldn't consent, but the man could. And so I think a lot of the laws are unfair.
Thank you.
And I think the reason they're unfair is because we can vote.
Yes.
Well, Pearl found a new fan club. She's converting some people there. See, the way she puts it is very one-sided. It's all true, but the way Pearl says it makes it seem like women are those emotional idiots, easily manipulated. It's the men that have all the struggles. Yes, false accusations, for example, are a problem when it comes to SA. But guess what? Rape in itself is a problem. that women deal with all over the world on a daily basis is a problem. This topic needs a debate, not a monologue. Anyway, if you guys want to see more, I'm linking the full video in the description below. It's long and a bit chaotic. There are many different topics thrown in, but as always, hearing people's opinions is always interesting to me. I also did a reaction video last month to Pearl's interview. You can check it out as well. But what do you think about the opinions that were shared in the video? Do you relate to any of them? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see more of my content, you can click on one of those videos here and of course subscribe to my channel, turn on the notifications to never miss another Daily Freddo episode. That's all for today. Have a good one.
It's like Lenin said, look for the person who will benefit and, you know...